sincerely extraordinary things. And today I have with me a very bold personality, Solomon Ajasa. I need to put accent aigu on that. I put accent aigu. Welcome aboard.
Thank you so much. I mean, it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. Like I said, I actually look forward to this conversation. I don't know why I'm so excited about it, but I mean, when you have someone in your sphere of influence that is this simple, are you always this simple?
I think so. Well, I mean, I don't see myself in the same lens that a lot of people see me. I think
Mm.
I mean, I don't see a lot of extraordinary things in what I'm doing.
Oh,
So
okay.
so I mean,
See, guys, you need to check him out. Like, follow him right away. I'm telling you, across all social media platforms. This was supposed to come at the end, but I'm giving you permission to do it
thank
now.
you.
Just type Solomon Ajasa from beginning to the end. And he's telling me, okay, so we'll start proper. All right, so thank you so much for honoring this invitation. I want to start with this interesting question. I'm sure you've been waiting for it.
Hmm.
How did you have the boldness to actually apply for a PhD with an HND?
So I've had about two other interviews,
Okay,
similar to people wondering how possible it is to apply for a PhD with
with
an HND.
HND.
But the thing is, the dynamics in the US is different. I
Okay.
think knowledge is power. So the more you are informed, the better it is to navigate through obstacles and
Mm.
challenges. So it was during my research that I discovered that the United States does not, they don't have the dichotomy that we
Okay.
have in Nigeria in terms of
That you must have,
HND and
yeah.
bachelors. So in the US, what they believe is if you have a 4 years or 5 years length of study, it is equivalent to a bachelor's.
Wow, I didn't. Like, it was your post that made me realize that.
Realize that.
What was I waiting for?
And then it's very very common here that
Mm.
bachelor's to PhD is a thing.
Yeah, it's common.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
common. So that was the route I went through. So
Mm.
since they see my HND as a bachelor's,
Yeah.
then I just decided to put in for a PhD.
Wow. What was the journey like when you came in? Because I usually heard that when you come into a new system like the US, where you have information
Yeah,
totally different,
yeah,
the mode of teaching is totally different, the
yeah.
environment is different. What was the experience like coming in as a newbie?
So I'm going to, before I answer that question, I'm going to just give a little background.
Okay.
So prior to coming to the United States, I knew nobody,
Yeah,
no
that's very
relative,
important.
no friends. I was the first person from my like high institution, my classmates, my set, to study abroad in the United States.
Yeah.
So it was sort of, I was coming from a place where practically I knew practically no
Not
one to
born.
connect me or even
Yeah.
answer some questions.
Mm.
So all I had was just Twitter and Google, where I
Mm.
was able to gather enough information to apply to UA. So after I got my admission, got my visa and everything, I started scouting out for students in UA just to
Mm.
have an idea of what UA is about. Unfortunately for me, a few of them that I reached out to on LinkedIn did not reply my
Yeah,
messages.
that.
They
I'm
didn't
not
reply
gonna say
me.
anything
I
about
mean,
that.
that's also part of why I'm very big on helping people transition from Nigeria to the US.
Mm.
Like if you come into my DM or you comment on my post, I'm going to reply because it was a problem for me, and
Yeah.
I don't want to
One.
create that same challenge for other people.
Mm.
So when I came in here, I was at a friend's place at Connecticut. That was where
Mm.
I stayed.
Mm.
I came in through New York. I was at
Yeah.
New York, then moved to Connecticut before
Mm.
coming here. So it was when I got to Connecticut that my friend was able to connect me with someone
Mm.
at UA who is a student, a PhD student here. So he told me I could come stay at his place while I try to get my apartment sorted and everything. But fortunately for me, the person that I got connected to here happened to be someone I sort of knew in
Have
Nigeria.
sent a DM.
Not exactly.
Okay.
We just used to say hello, hello. We're working with
Alright.
two different organizations,
Okay.
but we just used to
Yeah,
say
great.
hi, hello at each other. So that was it. So one of the things was when I actually did apply for a master's at first to the University of Alabama. And that was because I was not confident in my ability that I could get a PhD with my HND. It was after I got here, after I spent my first semester here, that I then applied for a PhD with my HND.
Okay. Oh, so you came in with the masters and then you
Yes,
switched to the
yes.
PhD.
So, but I had to submit a fresh
Yes,
application
I know.
and all that. So, I resumed in summer. I didn't resume in fall or spring.
Oh no.
My first semester was summer, which is probably the most difficult semester
Semester.
any international students would face coming into a new country and a new university like you, because you can see this is summer currently. Everywhere
So
is
dry.
completely empty. So I was the only student in the class, physical
Okay.
student in the class. The rest were online students. I was taking classes every day, Monday to Friday, and it was like 2 3 hours of lecture, and then I will have some long assignments to do to turn it in the next class, and like that. So it was really intense. It
Yeah.
was extremely intense. My routine was I leave home, I get to school at 8 a.m., take classes to 10. I was taking two different classes, and then I was doing research for a professor. So after the first class, it was 2 hours. Then I would have, I think about an hour or 2 hours break. I'll go for the other lecture before going for the to do research with the professor.
Yeah.
So once I finish that, I then go to the library. I go to Goga's library. So I'm at the library till like 8 p.m. before going home, because I realized there was so much that I
To
needed to
cover.
cover,
Yes.
and it was my first semester. I wanted to give a very good impression for the department, because I had also read that if you are able to, if you are like top,
Like a
you have your A's, you can get some, scholarships, and
scholarships.
yes, and even professors might be, just
Interested. Like,
interested in you,
who
that, oh,
is
who is
this
this
guy
guy
that
and
is
all that.
smashing the goals?
Yeah, and I knew that I've always dreamt of having a PhD. I've always dreamt to be a doctor.
Yes, I love the sound of that, like Dr. Solomon Ajasa. No, you don't understand the weight of the name.
So I knew masters was not the end of it.
The journey.
Yeah, so I wanted to also build my portfolio from day one, academically, so that when someone sees my credentials, they'll be like, okay, this guy
I
can
want
actually do
this
it.
guy.
Yeah. So it was difficult.
Mm.
It was very difficult. And also, I didn't have like friends around. Where I was staying, I was cutting at a friend's apartment, and the guy was in Nigeria. So he just allowed me
Okay,
stay at
to
this
stay
place.
while he's
So I
away.
was alone in the apartment, studying, going to school, doing research. And so it was really tough. There was a day I was on the bicycle heading back to the apartment, and I was shedding tears,
Oh my god.
because no one told me it was
This
going to
will
be
happen.
tough.
Yeah.
It was going to be mentally tough.
Mm.
And, my family, my friends, everyone that I knew were back home and just settling in a new community. Well, it was just myself. I was not seeing anyone to, really relate with, talk to, and all that.
That is
So
a
it was
lot.
very overwhelming. It was very, very overwhelming. But fortunately for me, the professor I was doing research with
We,
happened to be a very good person.
mm,
So he often asks questions. How are you
how you
doing?
doing?
What is your long-term goal? What do you exactly want to do here? Till date, he's still my mentor. He's someone
Wow.
that, if you see any picture of me getting an award, he's always there.
Can we do a shout out to him?
Oh, yes, his name is Dr. Derek Williamson.
Thank you so much. This is the kind of personalities that we want to be celebrating on this platform.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he sort of made it easy. And then I got in contact with a few professors during the summer semester. And at the beginning of fall, things were already sort of taking
Getting,
shape
yeah.
gradually. And then my first 2 semesters of in fall,
Yeah.
I made sure I got in contact with as many people as possible. I was already friends with the associate dean of the grad school. Like, I was literally in this man's face everywhere.
You're supposed to
If
know
we
your name.
Every orientation, workshop, everything we did, I was always going there to introduce myself to
My
him.
name is Solomon
Yes, I'm from
Ajasa.
Nigeria. and I want to connect with you, sir. So I just kept doing that. So they knew me.
You
It's
gotta
just
know
right.
my name.
But the interesting part is, to
Yeah.
be honest, I didn't know why I was doing it at that point. I didn't know. I can't specifically say
This is
this was my
why.
reason, but I just knew I was doing those things then. And yeah, so that was sort of the
At the
transition
beginning.
process. Yeah.
I know you couldn't have developed this tough skin when you got to the US. You definitely had it growing up,
Mm,
or you saw it. It's called resilience. I call it resilience.
mm,
It's that kind of spirit that I don't give up. Oh. I don't give up.
yeah.
I want to know what was growing up like for you. What were the lessons that growing up had taught
Mm.
you, values that you held on to that have been of great help to where you are today?
Yeah. So I grew up in a family of seven. My dad, my mom, and five children. I happen to
Okay.
be the only boy. So I have
Oh, the Ben.
four.
No, is it the Benjamin? You're not the
No,
Benjamin.
I'm not the Benjamin. I have a younger sister.
Oh yeah.
So being the fact that I was the only boy, the common thing in an African home is, oh, the only boy is always spoiled,
Yeah.
and he's
You
always
not
a spoiled
cook. You
brat
not
and
wash
all that.
plates.
But my case was different.
Oh,
So like
they did not spare you.
recently, my mom was telling me, we are having a phone call, and she was telling me that, oh, that was part of why she did what she did when I was growing up. I was like, what did you do? So practically, my mom was extra hard on me, right?
Intentionally, I think.
Oh, she did it
Yeah.
intentionally because she didn't want that only boy.
Syndrome.
Yes. So like, no, yes, you are the only boy I have, but I'm not going to give you, I don't want you to be spoiled. I want you to be someone I will see later in life and be like, that is my son. So she was a bit hard on me. And also growing up with ladies in the house, it comes with its own challenges.
Don't have a choice. They
Yeah.
will gang up against you.
Oh yeah. I mean, then my immediate other sister happens to be someone very picky. I mean, we're very very close, but she was always like very very,
Pushy.
yeah. She was always on me, so we were always fighting. But so that also sort of just helped me build some characters of patience, and understanding that, okay, I don't necessarily need to react to this and all that. So that was my family structure. And then we grew up in Badagry. So Badagry is a coastal area in Lagos. It's like
Like
so
a
more
border
like,
town.
yes, it's
Very
more like a
close to
border to Benin
Benin
Republic.
Republic.
Yes,
Semen.
yeah.
Border.
And Badagry is a place where fishing and farming, is the order of the day. My parents were both educated, but that was not a common thing in Badagry, right? I mean, I could list the number of people that were educated in the environment I grew up from. So it was education was a privilege.
So
It
it was
was
easy to kind of unpick those that were educated in the
Oh
community.
yeah, it was a huge privilege,
Yeah.
and having educated parents was even an extra huge privilege, because then you have people that you look up to, people that you can ask questions about, intellectual, have conversations with, and then provide answers to you. So that was sort of the dynamics as well. And then my parents um my parents wa- my parents are both civil servants. One of them is retired. My dad is retired. My mom is still in civil service. And the whole picture we all had was that after we finish our degree,
Go
we'll
and
go
get
into
a job.
civil, become civil servants, maybe get a job with local government or maybe state government.
Yeah.
That was the dream. That was like the goal, because that was also the people we saw,
Yeah.
my
Your
mom's
mom.
colleagues and all that. So there were a few issues that I grew up experiencing. One of it was domestic violence.
Okay.
It was a really huge deal. I'm really going to like full details, but it was something that really changed my
Perspective.
perception. Yeah, my perception, my orientation, my perspective, my understanding about life. At a very young age, I became extra sensitive to certain things, I had to start dreaming again. You know, um, at first, my reasons for having some kind of dreams was more of revenge and
Okay, I want
hate.
to get back. I
Yeah.
don't want to end up like this.
Oh yes. It was more of it was like toxic. It wasn't the best.
Yeah.
For example, I wanted to join the Air Force.
Oh, you would have been a very good officer. Like I can
I
just
would have been
imagine.
a terrible officer.
Ah,
I can bet you,
so I got
because
that wrong.
my reason for wanting to join the Air Force then wasn't the
Oh,
best.
I get the
So
reason.
so I had all of those
Yeah.
experiences growing up.
Mm.
There was the academic challenges of growing up in Badagry, not seeing a lot of people to
Emulate.
emulate, and then even the ones that you could emulate from, they were not perfect human beings. Of course, we are not perfect, but
But
you
that
expected
image that a
a
child is not supposed to be exposed to.
exposed
Yes.
to. So that was on for a couple of years, and then I had a shift when I was in SS2. So when I was in SS2, my siblings were all in tertiary institution. One of them was serving as at that time, and then my mom was not home. It was just my dad, my younger sister, and myself. My younger sister was in primary school then, so that was my first experience of taking responsibility.
Big boss, the daddy of the house.
Yeah, so I was literally the one responsible for my younger sister, kind of responsible for my dad, and then responsible for myself. So I would wake up in the morning, prepare my younger sister for school, take her to her school before going to my own school, come back from school, find out something to eat, cook, and all of those things. I mean, that was the real test. That was the first real test
For
for
you to
me.
have been able to remember, it kind of had a mark on you.
Oh yes, it was one of the most significant. It was That was my first mind shift because it was significant. It was for a whole term period. You know, it was, I think it was around if I'm not mistaken, I think it was around the first term, and it happened to the third term.
Mm.
So for the whole
Both
of my SS2,
section.
yes, I struggled with my academics at some point. Fortunately for me, I was quite a bright student, but my SS2 was really bad. My school knew. I had to open up to one of my teachers that I had my
I
struggles.
was hoping that I hope they didn't write letter to mommy and daddy.
Oh, I mean, they knew. They knew what was going on
Back
at
home.
home. My mom had to put a call through to my school of what I was going through. In short, a teacher had to exempt me from coming to the assembly in the morning because of the fact that I take my younger sister to her school and all that. So that reshaped my mentality. Um, I that was when I earned my cooking skills.
Oh, okay. Rice and cook. So I mean, oh, I promise I'm not going to ask this question. So I'm not asking it. I wanted to say something. I'm going to skip it.
That was when I earned my cooking skills, my management skill. I mean, my younger sister, I ensured that, she
Well,
didn't
fit as
have
well.
a very good understanding of what's going for through. And then my school offered me to write WAEC in SS2, but I couldn't take the exam because of all that was going on. So those were a few challenges I had, but that was my first real test at taking responsibility. And then I left school, got admitted to Lagos State Polytechnic because I couldn't get into the university
University.
at the first, and that was my first jam. But I didn't want to stay at home because home wasn't a place to stay.
But I hope Jam did not jam you. How
No,
many times?
I wrote jam just once. I wrote
Oh,
WAEC once as
all
well.
right.
So, but since I didn't get in university, people advised me to maybe stay back home another year. I was like, no, I want to go just the way my siblings also, left home. And then I went to Lagos State Polytechnic, and then it was also a different atmosphere,
Different
a
experience.
very different experience. Um, you know, not trying to tarnish the image of the school, but cultism was really a very
Yeah.
huge deal then. At
That's Lasso, right?
No, Last
That's
Protect at
Protect.
Ikorodu.
Yes, that's Protect.
So in short, my first week of attending lectures, a few of us coming back from school got stopped by cultists, and they took everything from us, and I was so scared because in Badagry, as much as Badagry is,
No
quite,
experience.
we did
Yeah,
not
yeah.
experience anything of that. Badagry is so peaceful and
Yeah,
quiet.
I did. French village is there, so 300 level
Yeah.
we're out there. It's a place you want to stay back.
Yes. So it was different. I was like shaking and all that. And I remember there was one of those guys that told me that, oh, I'm going to look for you. I like you. So
You
that's
took my
added an
boss.
extra
Fear.
fear in me.
Yeah.
And I was like feeding hand to mouth. The stipend I was getting was not enough. I was collecting 5K, and the 5K was for 1 month, of which I have to
Buy
cook,
and out.
buy handouts, do everything. Yeah, and
Okay.
my mom was actually responsible for it, and she was also responsible for my other siblings. So I had to also be kind.
Yeah.
So it wasn't something I could, be asking for. So I drank Gary very well.
Nice.
It was,
Did you use beans?
of course, definitely. I
Yeah,
drank Gary
beans and
very well.
Gary, they are
I drank
lifesavers.
Gary. In short, in my second year, I worked as a laborer for a construction because I had like,
Guys, doesn't look like it doesn't look like where it's coming from. You see, when I say I don't just pick on people, I mean for me, your passion was so deep enough for you to even go as far as that.
oh yeah. So I mean, working as a laborer, I had one of our professors who took on a project, so we would volunteer to
To
do it
work.
on weekends, and he would pay us. So it was an extra pay for me, so I had to do it. Right? It was also a way to just not call home asking them for money. So I had all of these experiences along the way. I started attending a fellowship. That was like where I started my relationship with
With
God.
God,
Yeah, that was actually
the turning point,
understanding not just going to church, but
having a
being a
relationship.
Christian. Yes. So that was the point where I had a relationship with God. And that also helped me to, understand life better. So it was at that point I knew that, oh, I had issues of unforgiveness, hatred,
Trauma.
and all of trauma and all of those things. To be honest with you, I didn't let go.
Yeah.
Even though I
Years
had
after.
committed, it wasn't something I could easily let go. So I finished at Laspotech with quite a good result, and I was hoping to do a direct entry with that, but it didn't work out. And then cultism was still like on. In
Are
short,
they still looking for you?
yes, unfortunately, and I was
Oh
so
God.
affiliated with like church, with fellowship,
That
and
they could
all that.
easily identify you or even know
Yeah,
which
but
side you
even
were.
with that, I mean, they would call me, oh, pastor. There was
Pastor,
a,
we need you.
yeah,
Like, can you imagine, like, Pastor?
yeah, it
We
was.
need you in
Sure,
our
there
midst.
was there was a very bad experience that I had. I still remember vividly. It was in front of Laspotech Gate, and then this guy stopped me. There were about 3 or 4 of them, and they told me that, oh, I should sit with them. They want to have some words with me. I was like, no, and eventually I started preaching to them and all that. So it got really messy that they had to like push me away, and it was really messy. So I still have some of those experiences, but I'm glad in a way that I had them. It gave me a different perspective about life. So when I left Laspotech and my direct entry didn't work out, I went to Yabatech. I didn't go back to Laspotech, also because of some of those issues, and because the admission had closed as at that time. So I went to Yabatech. And getting to Yabatech was a different experience from Laspotech. Cultism wasn't really much of a thing. I mean, I heard stories,
Yeah, Yaba Tech is in
but it was a bit calm. It was really a bit calm. And then during my internship program between my ND and my HND, I was working with a particular engineer. He's late now. He was also like a father figure in my life.
Can we do a shout out to the family? Like,
Yeah,
I like people. It's not around, I'm sure maybe. Come on.
yeah. I mean, is deceased now. He's late, Engineer Oloko, but he was very, very. He also shaped my understanding on a lot of things. We used to talk a lot more about life than even
Than
engineering.
work.
Once we closed from work,
Yeah.
between the time we would leave work and he would drop me in front of my house, he would like talk to me because he knew my growing up. In short, when I gave birth to me, he was
Was
practically
there.
there. So it was more like a father figure. So that was another person too that, was a big influence in my life. So I continued working with him even when I was at Yabatech. I would go work on sites, to have like enough construction experience and all of those. And then I had like different side hustles I was doing at Yabatech. I was like helping people with projects, homeworks, all of those things, tutorials, all kinds of things. So I I didn't even, I mean, I was a student, but I didn't have the social experience of being a student. So everything was just, if I wasn't doing like school related activities, I was trying to make some money. Yeah. So that was the experience at Yabatech. But one thing was my elder sisters, I noticed a pattern with my elder sisters. So because we grew up in Badagry, we had limited opportunities. Um, when they finished school, they didn't get jobs immediately, good jobs immediately. That they had to settle to be private school teachers at beside the house, right? And that was also because, for example, some of them got jobs inside Lagos, like Lagos Island or Lagos Mainland, but there was nowhere they could stay.
Two different, like three
Yeah.
extremes.
So I didn't want to have that same experience. I was really, really conscious of I want to finish school and get something doing. I don't want to go back home depending on my mom to feed me. Right. So there was a program that was organized by um, Lagos State government. It's called Ready Set Work.
Wait, no, don't tell me you were there.
Yes, I did Ready Set Work.
As a facilitator or
as a student.
I was one of the facilitators.
Oh, interesting.
Really?
Yeah, I did it.
I said it. There's so much that we have in common. I said it.
I did it in 2018.
Yeah.
Particular day we were in class, we were doing some of the activities, and then one of the general coordinators for the Unilag Center came into our class, and she was listening.
Yeah.
In person of Mayo Kwanduo. And then while we were doing that, she was like, "Oh, you this boy, there's something interesting about you." And then she said, "Oh, what's your name?" I told her my name, and she was like, "Oh, okay." Unfortunately for me, I didn't know who she was at that time. It was later on that some of the students were telling me that, oh, that she's the head of HR for Middle East, Asia, and Africa at that time for IBM, which is like a top company. And she was like, oh, if she's interested in you, that might be a good opportunity for you and all that. So I just kept on doing all I was doing, and people noticed me. I was the class coordinator for my own class, for my group, and all of that. And then at the end of the day, I interviewed with Total Energies and then a few other companies, including Blue Advisory. So I got Total Energies and Blue Advisory at the end. Decided to go with Blue Advisory because I felt it was going to offer me some opportunities to grow. And then Total Energies was not directly related to like what I wanted to do. So, and then fortunately for me, it was in alignment with like consulting. So I was able to learn a few things about like owning my consulting skills, becoming a consultant, and all of that. And then I was there. I did about over 3 years at Blue Advisory. So about 2 years into Blue Advisory, I started thinking about furthering my education. I had a lot of people around me who were doing great for themselves. Some of them were going for their masters outside the country, getting all kinds of certifications and all that. I was like, okay, I'm also very determined. I want to give this a shot. So I started, accumulating all my documents, searching the internet, having an idea of what I need to do and all that, because I didn't want a situation whereby opportunities would come and I will not be ready. Like they say that success is preparedness plus opportunity. So, and that was exactly what happened. About a couple of months later, I got to know that UA was offering the free application week.
Yes, they have a free application week.
It was the first day of that week that I knew about it. But because I had all my documents, everything ready. I submitted immediately.
How did you do the recommendation letters?
I just told my recommenders immediately that I mean, I had informed them before that, oh, I want to travel out, or I want to apply for schools. I would need your recommendation and all that. And they're like, oh, when it's time, I should let them know. So I just told them that, I'm sorry, you. This thing just came up and all that. And then I got 2 recommenders.
Wow.
In short, one of the recommenders, I don't know him physically. He's a professor at Laspotech. He was doing his PhD or something when I was doing my ND. But one of my friends who went back for HND who spoke on my behalf, and he was like, "Oh, this guy is great." And the man went to pull out my transcript. And I was like, "Oh, okay,
the man was great.
This boy is a top student." I was like, "I'm going to write it for you." So he was the first person to submit out of the 3 recommenders, Engineer Adigun. I mean, the man didn't know what he did. Right?
Thank you so much.
So I put in the application, and then about 3 weeks after I submitted, I got an admission letter.
Like,
from
who
UA.
would not even accept you? I can just imagine let me remove the PhD section. Like, between the primary school up to Yaba Tech. Like, who would not? Okay, you guys should, like, as I'm saying, you think I'm joking, right? Just Google his name.
So that was like the whole process for me, and I mean, I'm just grateful. I'm really grateful for that.
Wow. Was there any point in time where you felt like giving up?
Giving up is such a strong word.
Okay, let me turn it down.
The thing is, in short, I was saying something that I've never had a time to rest in my life. Don't get me wrong. What I mean by rest is, for example, when some people finish their secondary school,
they have some break.
Yeah, before going to the university, maybe due to jam and all of that. I didn't experience that. Immediately I finished my ND, I was working like on internship. I went back for my HND. Immediately I finished my HND, I had a job immediately. You know, from getting a job to UA, from my master's to my like, I have not taken a break off and say, oh,
I get that.
Nothing is happening. So I don't think there has been a significant time of my life where I felt like, I don't want to do again. The only thing I just know that I scream about is, can I get some rest?
Or who send me message?
I mean, I know that I send myself message, but there was a lot of things to motivate me.
Yeah.
The motivation was there. Looking at my environment, looking at my surrounding. I mean, some of my primary school classmates do not even have a bachelor's today.
Yes.
There's one of my primary school classmates that recently finished his NYSC.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, he finished it this year, and I was like, wow.
That's speed.
Because, I mean, I finished my NYSC in 2019, and this is 2025. But then when we spoke, I realized that he sent himself to school. So he had to like work, fend for himself to get that degree. And that's a lot of common stories. So I was one of the privileged kids of, being able to do all of these things.
To go from one step to another without break. Yeah.
Exactly. But the motivation, I think one of my biggest motivation has been God. The Holy Spirit has been really helpful. God has been really good to me. I mean, sometimes when I would just go and pray and be like, oh God, I want to do this. I mean, if I don't get directives from God, I won't do anything. For example, when I wanted to apply for GSA presidency,
yes,
the first thing I did was to...
We are still going to talk about that one.
The first thing I did was to pray. Before I even opened my mouth to say anything about it, I had gotten confirmation to proceed with it. I mean, I made some other prayers about the presidency itself, not just applying for it, but even during my reign.
Yes.
So God has been there for me. Another source of motivation has been my family, my mom and my sisters. Like, they've been so helpful. I don't want to say much, but I need to say this, that I saw my mom suffer for years.
Yeah.
My mom being a civil servant, when we were in school, she would like get loans from cooperative
just to pay
our school fees. And it got to a point that her salary was like peanuts.
Because so she would be paying loan at the end of the month.
I mean, she had, I think, about 60 or 70% of her salary was loan debt and all that. And in short, she sold her car. She had a car one time. She sold her car to pay for my sister's project fees. So like I've seen my mom go through all of these different phases. I'm like,
just to get you for my
yes, just to give our children the best. And then my sisters, the motivation I get from them on a daily. The day I was crying.
Yes, I wanted to hear that part.
The day I was crying, going back from school back to the apartment, and I was like, who sent me a message to come here? My elder sister's call came in. Actually, it was my younger sister that called me first, but because of the position that I hold in my younger sister's life, I don't like seeing. I don't like her experiencing when I'm in my
low moment,
the lowest moment. Yeah. So I just spoke with her. I was like, I'll call you later and all that.
No
but then my elder sister called me and I just burst into tears. I was like, you're crying. Why are you crying? Where are you? I said, I'm going home on my bicycle. I said, you are crying on your bicycle. Yeah, stop riding. Stop riding. They are scared when it comes to bicycle and myself. I had an accident. Yeah, one time I dislocated my wrist. Yeah, see. Yeah, so she was worried, and then she allowed me cry, and then she spoke to me to motivate me that it's just this phase. At that time she was already in the UK and she had gone through that first transition, first 3 years of transitioning and all that. So she was able to share her experiences and be like, don't worry, you're going to be fine. And then I also have 2 friends who have been like great motivation.
It's Michael Ajayi.
No. Okay. So Michael is an amazing person, no doubt. But these are 2 different people.
I get that. Those people you go to, like, I compartmentalize my friends, like put them in different
categories. So they've been very helpful. I mean, one of them, the lady in person, she was one of the people that encouraged me to apply to the US, to apply to schools. She was in Europe at that time. So
it's possible to have a female friend and not have string attached?
Of course, definitely. Okay. I've known her since she was 13.
Oh.
Right, yeah, and that's like over 10 years now.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and the relationship that we shared for several years was, we pushing ourselves, encouraging ourselves, seeing what you can improve on and all that. And then I have a male friend who is actually an engineer like myself, and he's also doing well for himself. So those are the different support systems and ways by which I motivate myself. And then I know that I have something to do for myself. There's a lot to still achieve. I want to be able to tell my story to my generation and tell them that, I came from point A to point B. When I look at the likes of Tony Elumelu and the rest, they didn't just become overnight. There was there was growth. So I document that growth, and I want to be able to tell people, so you know that it's normal for you to go through some of these phases, but then you need to be motivated and keep that goal in mind. So I mean, those are I think those are like my strengths and things.
You made mention of mentoring younger ones.
Oh yes. So I read a few books, Tim Lai, Why You Act the Way You Do, and a few other books, and I also listened to Sam Adeyemi. In short, I attended an event.
Sam.
With Michael and about the goldfish theory.
Yes, that theory. I was gonna ask what that theory really means.
Yeah, of course I would explain. So the goldfish theory basically talks about the goldfish remain within its size depending on its confinement, its area. So for example, if you put a goldfish in a cup, it won't grow beyond the size of the cup. If you put it in an ocean, it will grow as large as possible. So I see myself as a goldfish, that my growth is there's no limit to how much I can grow. So as I was doing all of these things, I felt it was too good for me to keep them to myself. So I started picking younger people that I can also be a person of influence in their lives. to motivate them that, oh, there's so much you can do for yourself. There was actually a young guy, I mean, maybe a few years younger than me. He's the first person to be educated in his family. And he wasn't planning to. His dad is a bricklayer. And then I told him, I said, what do you want to do?
You want to repeat the circle.
I was like, he does not know. Okay, you like what that it does. Why not consider doing civil engineering? There's no money. Have you started? Have you tried? Make an attempt, right? And then he was like, oh, he's going to try. He wrote JAMB, got into Lagos State Polytechnic, did end in civil engineering. In short, at some point he couldn't like raise his fees and all of that. And I was like, okay, I have some savings. Okay,
Wait,
use this
you gave him money?
My savings. It was actually my savings. I was like, pay the school fees. And then I told him, I said, nobody must hear about this.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually he told his mom, and then my mom, his mom started calling my mom, and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Short, my family knows that if I'm doing something I don't like.
Yeah, the noise around.
Yeah, so when I see his status now, I'm happy because he's actually like on site on a daily basis and all that. He's doing something for himself. So it was one of those people that I was able to like push beyond their limit. So I started pushing people. There were a few people that, they didn't really allow me do much. Of course, I understand life, takes different toll on people. Yeah. So it was something that I'm like, okay, and it's still something that I'm still doing.
Yeah.
I mean, recently I created a new mentorship group.
Please mention
it was last week Saturday.
We have to mention it because some people will need it. So, this is not theory, like this is practical. I like the practicality of your story because this is not, yes, you read some book, but this goes beyond the books that you read.
Oh yes.
It's that deeper conviction and determination that this is my state and I'm not going to remain here.
Yeah.
And then you move, and then you're not moving alone and you're moving other people.
Yes.
That is a pure mentorship that you can have. So please mention the mentorship program.
Yeah, I mean, so I've not made it public yet. Okay. So I just
this is exclusive.
Yeah, so if you people actually did reach out to me that they would like if I could mentor them.
Yeah.
I only know about 2 people out of the people that I have. Yeah. I have about 9 people currently. Okay. So I only know 2 people. Like, I know them, I know their parents. But the rest I don't know them. They just like randomly messaged me. I was like, okay, I think it's high time I do this. So I know we're going to be meeting like bi-weekly. I'm giving them like some challenges. Some of them applying to like schools outside the country and all that. So I feel like it's going to go beyond just that. For me, it's just going to be on life generally, spirituality, growth, leadership, and all of that. So it's been a very interesting journey so far. For me, and I mean, I'm just grateful for the experience that I have so far.
Were you ever bullied?
No. So I mean, I'm tall.
No, what are you trying to insinuate? He's trying to insinuate something.
No.
Okay.
So
how to hear that?
The thing is, I was always the youngest, or maybe the second youngest in my class. From my primary school down to Yaba Tech days. Yeah. I was always like, it was when I got to America that I realized
you discovered that you're not that tall.
I'm not that young, self.
Oh, okay.
Right, because I had, like, when I was doing my master, I had younger people in class and all that. So I was always like the youngest, but really tall and quite intelligent. Okay. So it was more of the intelligence and the eyes.
That filled the gap.
Yeah. So some people didn't even know my age.
Yeah.
In short, some people still don't even know my age. Some people feel like I'm really like old and all that. If I tell some people my actual age, and it was funny because there was a time I didn't used to tell people my age because I didn't want them to see me from that light.
Yes.
But now it's something that I'm proud of because I feel like
I've achieved
at this
more.
age I've been able to do this for myself. So that was how I was able to navigate through bullying. Yeah, I had like and I was friends with like older people in the class. So like,
if you don't see me, you'll see the people
the people that would most likely bully me, I was friends with them.
Yeah.
And some of them had like maybe, for example, when I was at last Buteko at Yaba Tech, I could do like some tutorial sessions for some of them. So there was that coverage that I had somewhat. So I was never really bullied.
I was bullied. I had, my height. I was bullied about my height. I was bullied about my tribal mark. I was told that I look like this former Nigerian player, Amunike.
Wow.
I was bullied about my voice. So, I mean, I think my intelligence is what actually supplemented it for me, but it still didn't prevent me from being bullied, because for years I kept quiet because somebody said my voice sounded like Osoyin. So I will not speak even when I'm in a place where I know that I have an answer to what you're saying. I won't speak. So that goes a long way to actually say that the things that we say to people, you don't know the impact that it's going to have on them. I want to ask now, let's go to the presidency. Let's go to the presidency. How did you, aside praying, how did you know that I can do this? There are times where this is the first time this thing is happening, and sometimes you ask yourself, am I qualified? This and that. So walk us through the process.
There were a few things that I did, prior to being the president of GSA at the university, that I was more like the first person to, do it. One of it was the Alt Prize accelerator.
Were you the first president of the association?
GSA. I was the first international student to be president of the Graduate Student Association.
Let me rub the president.
So I mean, I had done a few things back home that I was like the first person to do. I used to come up with like initiatives of, let's do something. Sometimes I could just be in my room or just be doing anything random. I just get ideas of things. So the Holy Spirit motivates. Inspires me a lot on things to do. So what happened was, before I became president, I was first vice president, diversity, equity, and inclusion
of the same association.
Okay. GSA. GSA is it's called the Graduate Student Association. So it's the official association for all graduate students at the University of Alabama.
International
domestic. During my term, we were over 6,000 graduate students.
And you were the president.
Yeah, and the interesting part of it is the international students were less than 30% of the over 6,000. We're actually less than 30%. You won't get to see that because a lot of us are in STEM programs, of which in STEM programs were a lot more
than humanities.
But the day I saw the data myself, I was like, oh wow. So we are like very small chunk. So sort of I was more like a minority, right? And then before I became the president, the vice president of DEI, a friend of mine who happened to be the first international student ever to be on the GSA cabinet at all.
Wow.
Her name
is his name.
Her name actually.
Her name.
Joyce Jekanyolua. She's now in Buffalo University, and I mean, she was the first person ever. And interestingly, I came in summer. As at August, I'd met the president of the GSA, Royce Dickerson. I'd met almost all of their cabinet. Everybody knew.
You must know my name.
I was just everywhere. So I got to know her, and then at that point, the president selected me to be on the International Education Committee. So I was on international education. So basically what we're doing was we're meeting with the school administration and the international office and a few students, just to see how they can provide better initiatives for international students at UA. So I was representing the president of the committee. So I give like president feedback. And then I just asked my friend one day that, what do you exactly do as DEI? Because we don't have like DEI back home and all that. And then she explained to me, I was like, oh, that's interesting. So towards the end of our tenure, I was like, can you tell me more about this role? So I actually have a funny habit. I'm always a very curious person. There are times where I'm curious for my own use, and there are times where I'm just curious randomly.
Just random.
But it's difficult for you to tell because I would always
come up with
questions. So I asked her about it, and she told me, and she was like, "Oh, are you interested?" I was like, "No." At that point, I wasn't, honestly. I just wanted to know. And then later on, I started thinking about that. Oh, is it really something that I want to do and all that? And then I prayed about it. And I felt the Lord's leading to
To do
proceed
it.
with that. So I met with my friend, and then I now told her that I want to go for this. Can you tell me what it entails in like the whole capacity of that office and how that is going to influence or affect my studies, right? Because also I believe that leadership, as a leader, you can't be selfish.
No.
If you cannot sacrifice as a leader, you should
Then
not be in the position.
no.
Because if you're saying that you do not have time, you cannot put in some resources, then you shouldn't be a leader. Because
I feel like you're talking to us. Like you're talking to us. I didn't mention
yeah,
names.
because I mean, this is, I mean, like I said, over 6,000 people, 6,000
That's
lives are at
huge.
stake.
That's
So
huge.
it's going to be, how are you going to, what are you going to do and manage
different
that?
personality, nationality,
Yes.
orientation,
Yes.
ideology.
Yeah. So can I add that to my own struggle as a graduate student? So after she spoke with me at length, I was like, okay, I'm going to think about it. And then I was like, okay, let me give it a try. And then I did. The president at that time of GSA was very helpful. So it didn't make being the vice president DI really difficult. But and she really exposed me. Because me, I was really interested in getting exposed. She exposed
You are
me
out.
to the system. And at that time, I was already an ambassador for the graduate school as well.
You already have.
Yes, so I was like involved with graduate school. I was involved with the international office because of my committee. You know, so I already had a couple of ideas of, you know, this and that. So towards the end of the VPDI position, I actually met with the president, and I told her that, oh, after I had, you know, prayed, I had thought about it and all of that, that, oh, that I have an interest in going for the GSA presidency. That can we meet to like have a one-on-one at length? I want to have like to the smallest
details before I commit.
And then she was like, that's gonna be tough. I happen to be the first STEM student to do GSA presidency, the first international student. Like, you would not get an engineer apply be a GSA president.
Because
all of them,
your course is already demanding.
Exactly. Every other person, you know, they were all from humanities. So I even spoke with some of my lab mates. I was like, I want to do this. They're like,
are you sure?
I'm sure our advisor would like the idea. Are you sure this and this and that? Okay, just think about it well. But if you want to do it, we'll support you. And then all of a sudden, people started asking me, you know, that, oh, are you considering GSA presidency? I was like, okay, maybe this is actually a confirmation and all that. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try it. And then I did. I had over 90% vote to, you know, take on as the president. And I met with the graduate school administration. They were so excited that, oh, finally, because of the fact that I have been serving in different capacities, they knew that, oh, this was more of a service for me. And one thing I was saying to people is, this is not a leadership position. I don't see it as a leadership. I see it as service.
Opportunity to serve.
As to serve people, opportunity to give to people, opportunity to be a servant to the community. So they saw that trait in me, and they were like, okay, this guy has what it takes. And then I identified. So part of like my success of being a GSA president was I identified a couple of issues that were going on. One of it was in summer. Now there's like summer transport. So you from your apartment, you can actually make a phone call. They come pick you up. Before it wasn't possible.
Was you have to when you were riding bicycle?
Yes, you have to either ride, and it's like the sun, everything. It's the most difficult time to be walking or cycling in, you know. So it was something, and I'm glad that we were able to achieve it. And then another thing was that the Senate, the faculty Senate, were proposing the change of grade policy. They wanted A+, A- for grad students and all that. And then GSA took it up that we want to hear what students really want. Do they really want this or not? And then we realized that students said no, they don't want it.
So they wanted the numbers.
Yeah, so and I was able to pitch that to the graduate council. Graduate council voted on it, and they were like, oh, we are going to listen to the students. So that was also another win for us. Another thing that we were able to, which I believe would take effect by August,
August.
is stipend increments.
Hey, shout out.
But I'm not going to provide much information on that.
So we are the
I'll let the
lookout.
people, but it was also something that
was proposed.
Yeah, and grad school were like, oh, we're able to get this substantial amount, and this is what we're going to do, and all that. So those were like things that there were a few other things that we wanted to achieve, we couldn't, because actually some were really difficult.
I wanted to say, what was the challenge?
Oh yeah, I mean, we met with some people that yelled at us.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, no, we are not gonna do this. We can't do it. And
it's
like,
not part of the
plan. And we're like, okay, this is how you can do it. This is, and then we even proposed ideas
to getting it done.
Yes, and they're like, they still didn't want to do it. So we had like some of them, and some of them were really ready. But due to a few challenges, administrative wise, they couldn't. But it's something that they are still working on, and hopefully it's going to take effect. So what we just did, most importantly, was that all of these issues, we were able to put it out there. So all of the officers, the top administrators in the university are very much aware of these issues. So even when the next administration decides to take on some of those, they are aware. It's just how to solve it. So that was what we did. We created more awareness, and then even within the students, we created more awareness of what GSA is. We started going from department to department, to college, to have like 30 minutes, 1 hour sessions with students for them to know what GSA stands for.
Because sometimes students don't even know that the association exists in the school.
And then there were times, there was another issue that happened with the Department of English. They were having some challenges with like their scholarships and fundings and all that. And we were able to discuss it, and they were able to solve the problem. So we became, the association became stronger, became louder, became noisier because of the kind of person that I am as well. So I'm just hoping that the association is able to continue with that energy.
That will lead me to the next question of an international student just coming in. How do they navigate? What are the strategies that you will say?
I think one of our biggest assets is community. The biggest asset you will have is community, because you are a scholar already. You are most likely one of the top students from where you're coming from. You are smart, you're intelligent, and all that, but you need information. Data rules the world. I mean,
you talked about a CBT test you did.
Oh yes. I mean, for example, like my first test ever here at U, I scored a 70 over 100.
And that's the A in Nigeria.
In Nigeria, but that's C here. And I was like, wait, what's going on?
We can't start like this. So
I met like two people that, this was what happened and this, and they're like, do it this way, this is what you should do. And I was like, okay. So I was able to make A in that particular course because I spoke out and I had a community to support me. So during that transition phase, you need like people who understand your language, where you're coming from, what you've experienced, what you're going to experience, and they can help you. It's not like, we are going to say, okay, you must do this and this, but then you have people around you who are also in that same situation. So you have like minds that can put you through and all that. And I've gotten myself involved in different mentorship programs. I used to be an IPAC leader, International Peer Advisory Council, which is like a mentorship session for new international students. I also did Tie Together mentorship, where you'll be paired with a graduate student, and you have to like mentor them through their first year. So I did all of those things just to like help international students, do better.
Wow. Do you say asking question, like asking for help? I think that's one of the things that graduate students should also do, like ask for help.
Oh yeah, I mean it's key. You have to ask for help. If you don't understand something, ask. Even myself till date, when I don't have answers to certain questions, I still ask for help. For example, I remember there was a day I was writing a paper. I was looking for some I wanted to do like I needed some papers to write my literature review, and I was just there gisting with my friends. All of us were cooking that day. I was like, I'm going through this. And then
so
they just
the
told
brother
me,
cooks too. You cook. Hey.
Very well.
There's a question I promised him not to ask. I will not ask that question, but he cooks.
So while we were there, about 2-3 people just told me, go to the university library page, do this, and it was
that problem was solved.
So because I was able to
To
speak
ask
out, yeah,
questions.
ask questions. So it's important that you ask questions, and I mean I'm very much available to answer questions for people. Just help them understand, make them understand. Oh, this is what you
Yeah.
should do and all that. Yeah.
What would you say to your younger self? I
Uh,
love that question.
yeah. Well, what would I say to my younger self? I think one thing I would say to my younger self is that there's a whole lot I can do, um, but I need to be very disciplined
To do it.
to do it because I feel like there were a few things that I could have done better
Mm.
if I was more disciplined and probably maybe more exposed. Um, because I mean, how would I put it exactly? I felt I had a lot growing up,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I felt um, I could have gotten more out of life if I showed more, um,
Discipline.
yeah, if I was more disciplined, and also if I saw myself from a different lens of, oh, you can actually do
Do
this.
this.
I think one of the things that now that has become a source of confidence is that gradually I'm having a track record of some of these
Success.
things. Yeah. I think the recent one was when I got the Premier Award. So the Premier Award
Okay,
is like
tell us. Tell us.
so the Premier Award is the highest honors you can get at university.
Wow.
So only 6 students are
I've gotten.
no 6 students are
I've
awarded
picked
every
randomly.
year.
Okay.
Every year. Well, it's not a random process. I mean, it's quite a tedious process of picking students. So the category I was picked for was the outstanding graduate students of the year.
Wow.
So that's like 1%
Hey,
of the
God, when am I a toothpick?
But then he was because so there were 3 categories: teaching, research, and service. So I teach as well. I'm an instructor of record.
Okay.
And then I do research, and then I do service, a lot of service.
Wow, that's the
duties.
3 in 1.
Yeah, so I think all of those different. I mean, last spring, it was like a floodgate of achievements, awards and recognition. It was a lot. In short, at some point, I told myself that I'm not posting anything again on social media.
Yeah.
Because it felt like I was just bragging.
As if
every post was every post was, oh, I'm glad to announce that
That's LinkedIn.
Yeah, so I stopped it. And in short, I've not updated my LinkedIn to identify some of those things.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it because it's also important. But I had to just tell myself I'm not posting anything because it was like week in, week out. What happened?
How many awards so far? 20.
Honestly, I can't count.
Oh boy.
Maybe when I get home, I'll try and count them.
Yeah.
Since I got to you, how many awards I've gotten. But
Wow.
I mean, it's been quite.
But that's a result for the effort you put in. You can't be putting in all this effort. Like, look at your story from the time you came in and the dedication to staying in the library and then read like, hey, you travel like how many hours to this place, So I think it's just fair enough that you are recognized for the efforts that you are putting in.
All glory to God.
Yeah. I would like to say, what does boldness mean to you?
Boldness.
Yeah.
I think what boldness means to me is taking the bull by its horn.
Yeah, just the BB. Okay.
No, I think it's honestly, boldness is doing something that you might feel it's impossible to achieve or to do, and it's normal. To fail is also part of being bold. I mean, you actually did try. I think that's boldness. In my own
Take
opinion.
the bull by the horn. Okay.
Yes.
So now let's go to the icebreaker or the teaser.
Okay.
It's going to be this or that.
Okay.
Are you ready? So
Okay.
you pick a number from 1 to 5.
Okay, 5.
Okay, 1 to 5.
My lucky number is 5.
What's that destination that you look forward to traveling to?
Destination that I look forward to traveling to.
Yes.
Hmm.
Oh. I didn't see this coming.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
You never thought of it. That's
Yeah,
good.
I think that would be Kenya, Sha.
Kenya. Why?
Yeah,
Anything?
wildlife.
Oh, you like nature?
I love nature so much.
Yeah.
And I love adventures too.
Oh, yeah.
Before it was Germany. Germany was like my biggest dream country because
Okay.
of the fact that Germany is big on construction.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
but coming to the US, I see US is also doing well. So the dream for
the
Germany
nature.
has. Yeah, but I really want to experience
Kenya.
safari life.
Yeah.
Either Kenya or Tanzania, one of those countries where they have like safari. I would love to experience.
And Africa do have a lot of
Oh
that.
yes.
Africa
I'd
is
love to.
blessed.
I'd love to see like animals, wild animals. Deserts,
Yeah.
nature. Yeah, I'd love that.
Okay. Next question.
Okay. 3.
Coffee or tea?
I don't like coffee.
Ah, this was so fast.
Yeah, I don't drink coffee.
Okay.
Sef.
Any particular reason? No reason.
So I read the research one time that it's a
Okay.
psychoactive. It has psychoactive effect
Yes,
on
it
the
does.
brain.
It does.
So
It becomes very, very hyper.
I don't want anything that would
We'll add to
alter
the
my.
activity.
Yeah, I don't want anything that will even alter my sense of being or anything.
Okay. What sparked your interest for engineering?
That's a very good question. Honestly, I wouldn't say. If you say engineering, there's a reason, but if you say civil, I can't specify. So what happened was, growing up, I love aeroplanes a lot. I used to see like planes fly over our house, and I was like, and then someone was telling me, while I was still very young, very, very young, someone was telling me about aeronautic engineering, which means an engineer that repairs the plane. So I was like, if a plane is this big enough and flies, I want to be repairing it. Like, I want to be repairing it. And then I got to like SS1 or SS2. I was talking to one of my teachers at in secondary school, and then my teacher was like, it was not thinking aeronautic engineering is a good idea for me, especially in Nigeria, that the market is not there, and then that it might be difficult for me to even get the course and all of that. Maybe I should consider another engineering and all that. And also another reason was that physics, we didn't have like a very good physics teacher then. So it was like, it also feels maybe that might affect my ability and all that. So at that point, I was into like art. I used to draw a lot when I was in junior secondary school.
Draw?
A lot when I was in junior. So I loved drawing. I mean, not anymore. I had a terrible experience. Yeah,
Maybe it's one of the.
My sketch pad got burnt.
As a trauma.
Yeah. So that was the last time I ever drew.
Will you ever pick up drawing again?
I don't know, because I still remember the experience.
Yeah.
So, but I used to do architectural design.
Yeah.
What's it called? What's this subject in secondary school? I've forgotten.
Introductory technology?
No. Technical drawing.
Okay.
So we're doing a lot of like architectural drawings, mechanical drawings, and all that. So I loved it, and I was like, I was going to become an architect.
Yeah.
But then, because of the fact that I've always wanted to be an engineer, I was like, okay, what kind of engineering would allow me to do such? And then I read about civil. So that was how I developed interest in civil engineering.
Do you have any mentor in engineering world in Nigeria, in the US?
So I had a mentor later in life who happened to be engineer or local. He's deceased now, he's late. So he was more like someone that really made me even love the profession more. And then I later realized that engineers, they can be very rich. So
then the money was also
money to take care of my family.
Yeah. Okay, so third icebreaker question.
Let's go.
Pick a number.
Number 1.
Early morning grind or late night also?
I don't even know, because I think I'm a mix of both.
Everything.
Yeah, I mean, I wake up as early as 6:37.
Okay.
And I sometimes don't sleep until like 3 a.m. Sometimes. Because there are days where I have to like walk. So I don't know which one. But before, I used to be a late night hustler.
Late night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think late night. Late night.
We have 2 more questions to pick.
That's 2 or 4. So let me do 2.
Lagos jollof or Alabama barbecue?
Alabama barbecue cake. No, it's Lagos jollof.
Party
That was too
jollof.
fast.
What's Alabama barbecue? Sorry, Alabama fans, but no. Lagos anytime, any day. I mean,
That's the expression I wanted to
what's Alabama
He has not
barbecue?
recovered from the question.
No, now. Is it honey plated, honey baked barbecue? No.
Okay, 2 more questions to go. One more.
Number 4.
Number 4, Zoom meeting or in-person brainstorms?
In person. I'm a people's person.
Yeah.
I love interactive
Yeah.
this and that Zoom. I really don't like Zoom that much.
Yeah. Okay, the last question.
Yeah, so that'll be. I think I picked 1 to 5 already.
It's 4. Just 4.
I did 5, 3, 1, 2, and 4.
You've not done 4. Oh, you just did 4.
Yes.
I'll give you a bonus question. I want to
Okay,
hear
yeah,
another
please.
one. Okay, pick another one. Any
Uh,
number from 1 to 10.
1
Okay,
to
you
10,
pick
7.
Question 7. Beachside retreat or mountain hiking?
Beachside retreat or mountain hiking? I think beachside retreat. I used to go to beach a lot.
Yes,
because
but I
of-
agree.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I haven't done a lot of mountain hiking, so
Okay. Wow. So, I mean, that was a very insightful episode. Thank you so much for coming on board. What would be your last word?
I would start by saying thank you for this opportunity.
I'm sitting beside the president. What else do you expect?
when Olabayo told me about it, I was not certain if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I mean, I was still in doubt, and then I saw Equals video, and I was like, oh this would be a good thing to do. Also, I don't know who would see it,
Yeah.
and who would feel motivated. So, and the fact that you came up with this idea to do, I think it's a very good thing. Thank you so much. There are things we do, we don't know why we are doing it, and we don't know who it will be useful for. Someone like Tim Lai wrote books several years ago.
Yes, and it's still making
and
impact.
it's still making impact in life. And I'm just going to say this, that there's still a lot that we can do for ourselves as human beings. So if you happen to be in a capacity to do
help,
anything,
if you have
do
any
it
information,
well. Do it very well, and do it without having a reason of, I want to get something out of it. Just do it because you feel. I feel like part of my existence is to serve, right? And that's what God has called me to do. So my joy is when I see people, achieving their dreams, and if I can deposit a little into their lives, that's going to be my greatest joy. So it's the same thing, that anything we find ourselves doing, we should do it very well.
Wow, how do we connect with you? Because I'm already connected though, so it's for you.
I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on
at Solomon
Seseshi Ajasa.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the meaning of that middle name?
It's my ego name. It means God answers mine. Seseshi, God answers mine. Yeah, if you just type Solomon Seseshi Ajasa online, you would see him.
There's this aura around you, and it's that of tranquility. So guys, you need to connect with him. It's an amazing personality you want to work with. Thank you so much for joining today, and till I come again in another interesting episode, I promise you the next personality you will not see it coming. Oh, it has an hint, you will not see it coming. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Medina Oyedele. Till I come again in another interesting episode of Bold Conversations with me, of ordinary people doing extraordinary things, and say bye for now.